What's up, everybody? It's Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Today, I got a very special message for you. So as you know, obviously, I am this podcast is just going to be with me talking to you, and it's all about the commitment piece that comes with being an entrepreneur, and what is the factor that drives it, which is belief. So when I was in insurance, when I first started, I had some success and I made some sales, and I got a little bit of an ego because I thought, I got it all figured out. Right. And through that process, I put myself into a hole that I didn't realize I was doing over time. And I got to a point where I wasn't making any money. I got into debt and I wasn't buying leads. And I was trying to find ways that I could find success. I was trying to discover ways to find success that were easier for me, right? I was looking for the cheat code. And in November, December 2018, I was massively in debt. I had no ability to get any more credit or loans or anything. And I wasn't going to training. I wasn't selling really. I had bought a couple of batches of leads in the early November, and I didn't really get a return on them because I wasn't working hard. And so I ended up getting a full-time job where I got a salary and commission. The sales cycle was really, really long. And when the pay that I was getting, I figured I always wanted to get and that's a lot of salespeople, by the way. We always want to get the salary position with commission, right? And what I found is typically those positions that you can make way more on a pure commission base when you're working for yourself. But it's a safety net. It's an option B, and I feel that safety net is what actually keeps us from the belief that we need in order to succeed, to fully go in, to commit and decide what it is that we want to achieve and go full force towards it. And so in 2018 in December, I had started finally going to training. I was listening to all these trainings, while I was working full time. And I was trying to run business with old leads that I was given and some that I had. I was trying to run business in order to generate sales. And I got an opportunity. And that opportunity was to lock out counties with mail and to purchase them. But I had to purchase them ahead of time. I had to purchase them on the front end, the way that this company worked. And it was around December 10th of 2018. Now I've got 4 kids. That year, my kids were coming to visit me for Christmas, so they were flying in. I still had a lot of bills left for the month, child support. I had a couple of houses that I owned that I rent, but there was no renters in them at the time, so I was paying the mortgage out of pocket. And the total for my bills for a month was about $8,000 to $10,000. And I remember I had about $5,000 worth of bills left for the month. Not to mention, I wanted to do things with my kids. Not to mention, it was Christmas time and I had not bought any gifts for my kids. And the amount of money I was getting from this salary position was I was taking home about $3,200 a month. It was just shy of $3,200. I'd already been paid for the first half of the month. I was about to get my second half paycheck, and I had about $1,600 left in my bank account. So mathematically, I didn't even have enough money to survive the month. Now, I'd been listening to these podcasts. And so when I got the opportunity to buy these leads, these podcasts, they generated this belief in me, like I can do this. I can do this. Like there's something I'm missing. I'm just not committing. Right. And that's where a lot of the fear stems from, I think, with most agents, is that fear that you're not going to be able to make it and not going fully in and not putting yourself in such a position where you're so uncomfortable that you have no choice but to succeed. And so that's what I ended up doing, is I spent every dollar just about in my bank account. It was about 1,500. It was in between 15 and $1,600, and I had about $1,600 in the bank account. I spent every single dollar just about that I had to purchase those leads. And when I got leads a couple days later, I ran those like my life depended on it. And I was able to turn that investment, that first investment where I put myself in that position, I was able to turn that into $10,000 in commissions, which I was able to pay my bills for the month, buy Christmas gifts, have a good time with the kids, and buy more leads and continue to replicate this process. When I looked at it, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a conversation with one of my agents, and they told me, they're like, "Hey, I got this plan for 2023. They haven't been buying leads. They haven't been selling. They've been doing this for 6 months, 7 months." And he was like, I'm gonna, do these workshops that I can do for free and talk to people, and I'm gonna do social media and this, that, the other." And I said, "That's great. That really is good to do that as a supplemental. But if you're not putting yourself in a position where you have to act, what's going to happen is that you're going to probably, and I've seen it happen with multiple agents. I've seen it happen a lot where you lose confidence over time because those methods, they can work, but they work off of a large investment of time, very, very long. And it takes time to build up a funnel or a platform where people will start to come to you as the expert. Sometimes it takes 6, 7, 8 months. Here's the reality of the situation. We're in America. There's more money printed here in the last 2 years than has been printed in the entirety of the history of the United States. If you want money, you can get it, and you're not looking at it the right way because your mind is focused on not buying leads and finding a way to not have to purchase them and get money first instead of just generating a little bit of money to do an initial investment. Sometimes, I mean, half the people that are watching this, by statistics, you have an Apple iPhone. The rest have a smartphone. You're paying for a phone that's $1,000 or more, usually, typically. We're not a third world country. I've been in third world countries. I've sat in mud huts. I've sat in places where people were dirt poor, had nothing to their name, and still would sit down with me and give me chai tea and go to the market and buy some chicken and like literally give me the shirt off their back just to show appreciation or to break bread with me and with Americans. I've seen this. If you want the money, there's ways to get it. And you can get it really quickly. Or just use the money you have. If you go negative, if you make a late payment to something, you get a late payment fee. Is that the end of the world? No, just pay the late payment fee later. Put that money and invest in yourself. You have to put yourself in such an uncomfortable and difficult situation where it forces you to act. It forces you to say, you know what? I have to move. I have to do this. There is no other option. It reminds me of the movie, one of my favorite trilogies, best trilogy of all time. Come at me, bro. The Dark Knight trilogy. And for those of you seen it in The Dark Knight Rises, Batman, Bruce Wayne, he is put in this prison and he has to escape this prison in order to get back to Gotham in order to save his people, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the prison, the only way to get out is that you have to climb up to a ledge, and then there's between these two ledges, there's this large gap that you have to jump, and no one's made it because everyone that tries to make it, they tie a rope to themselves, and it's meant to be a false sense of security because every single time that somebody puts the rope on, they try to make the jump, they don't make it, they fall, the rope catches them, but it jerks them, it kind of hurts them, and everyone sees this over and over again, and they lose hope. It's not until he realizes that the single person that's ever gotten out of there was a child, and the child got out by not using the rope. Because when you take away all other options, when you remove any kind of safety net to where it's do or die, life or death, like you have no other option, you push harder. You become stronger. You do things you never knew you were willing to do. Your mind comes up with ways to succeed that you weren't thinking about. You will push to the to the brink of your limits, which you're not doing now. And that's the problem because you're not committed. If you're watching this and you're not having the success that you want to have in your business, and you're trying to find ways to not do leads, you're trying to find ways to get business that is against what you're being taught, you're trying to recreate the wheel. You're trying to recreate a system that's already generating income for a lot of agents out there. You have to remove the safety net. You have to put yourself in an uncomfortable position to where you have no other option but to succeed. Because that's where you're going to find your true growth. That's where you're going to find true success. I know it because I did it myself. And you're going to find what you're truly capable of. This is a concept and a fact that I believe from my experience and what I've witnessed in the industry holds back a large majority of agents. Their unwillingness to commit because they're like, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, but what if it does? Right? This is the concept of getting into the cold pool. If you get into the cold pool slowly, step by step by step, and you tiptoe, it's going to be cold every step of the way. And you're going to get to a point where you're like, nope, I don't want it. It's too cold. I don't want to get in. But if you just commit and say, F it, I'm jumping in, and you cannonball in, hey, yeah, it's cold, but your body has a shock and then it acclimates really quickly. And then you're in the pool and you're like, you know what? It doesn't feel that bad. It's actually kind of refreshing. It feels good. Hey guys, water's warm. It doesn't feel that bad. Right. And everyone's looking at you like you're crazy. But that's how it is. You have to commit. You have to believe in yourself. Go to trainings. Align yourself with people that are having success and see their success and their belief and tell yourself, if they can do it, why not me? That's what I did. I looked at all these people that I listened to on these trainings that were writing $10,000 a week. Why not? Why them? Why not me? They don't have anything that I don't have. They don't have skill sets or talents that I don't have. They're doing things that I'm not doing. They believe in themselves more. They believe in the system, obviously more than I did. And that's the key, is the belief. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the system, and you have to commit. I promise you, if you're watching this and you're thinking, man, this is making some sense. Oh, Greg, you're really making sense here. It's because I've lived it. And I'm telling you, throw yourself into this situation, put yourself in an uncomfortable position. You will find that you have way more within yourself to give. You're more capable than you ever imagined. And you'll start believing in yourself. And I believe in all of you, but you need to believe in you. If you get any value from this and it helps you to think another way, helps you to look at yourself and your business in a different way, or maybe you have agents that aren't committing that you share this with, then do me a favor. We grow completely by word of mouth. And I just ask that if you got value, then share this value with another person in sales and entrepreneurship in the insurance industry so that they can also get value. You never know who you might inspire to be better just by sharing some content. Share it on your stories, share it with your team, share it with another agent you know that's having challenges. But share the content, and as always, like, subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts, on the YouTube channel. Helps us with and I would be eternally grateful if you did, if you took that time. It only takes about 60 seconds total if you did it, a little bit of your time, for the value that I try to provide. I hope that this is valuable to all of you. As always, this has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Be the difference in all that you do. And Happy New Year, 2023. Until next time, deuces. We'll see you.